Shutting stream down won't stop my shit from smelling up the apartment when I get there.
You're not allowed in. Bye. Good night.
Perry, would you like to blow Randy or Dimitri on the credenza one final time before we
Good
burn it with the couch
night.
and snowboard? Burn it down, all of it, burn it.
Good night. Now, one more time, and I'm turning the computer off.
Perry, would you like to blow Randy or Dimitri
There
on
it
the
is.
credenza one final
Bye.
time before we burn it with the couch and snowboard? Burn it down, all of it, burn it.
Bye. 'Cause I'm going snowboarding starting tomorrow. Bye.
Do you think my shit will give the credenza a nice stained finished look when I come drop a fat shit all over it?
Thanks, guys. No after hours tonight, as it should be obvious. I couldn't really relay how hard it was tonight to work this stream because it was just brutal, and I probably should have restarted early, but I didn't, and it's just the way it was. But it was just unbelievable. Without getting technical, it was just. There's like flickers on the thing every couple of moments where there's nothing going on. You know, it's like I'm trying to explain it. Like you can see it when looking at the screen. Like you can see when the chat disappears. That every time that happened, anything I had built up with the tip comments disappears. So I was constantly resetting it and like, okay, well and you can't like shuffle the deck necessarily. They got to be played in order. So, I don't know. This is probably not making any sense, but I would have to click replay. And then when I finally felt like, okay, now this is good, then it would glitch again and everything was out the window. So that's why if you sent in a comment, sometimes it would come in immediately. Other times it would be like an hour or two behind. And then I had to basically memorize each one. And I know I played some more than, definitely more than once because... Sometimes I do that just to, like if he doesn't answer the question correctly or if he misses the point, I'll replay it. If he talks over it obsessively and there were points in there that I'll replay it. And then sometimes I'll just replay it because I think it was Mitch. If I had partner status, this wouldn't happen. No, this has nothing to do with Twitch. This is a Streamlabs thing. This has nothing to do with Twitch. Streamlabs is a different entity altogether. And they can fuck their partnership status. But, so there was that, and then there was other things. Like you guys couldn't hear it, but there was audio glitches too that were like, so I had to like adjust the audio of the actual tip comments because because every time it resets, that goes down to 0. Like, so I got to raise it up. It's just humble. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you. It's just technical garbly gook that, and I should, from now on, I'm going to do this. Like literally, when I got home, I don't know, about 2 hours before the stream, I turned on, Streamlabs and it updated. It updates automatically. It's one of those programs that just automatically updates. So there was a new update and that always is bad news. And what I should normally do, what I'm going to do in the future is, see, there it goes again. That literally just reset now. But thankfully, nobody sends anything in for after hours, so it won't be an issue. But not that we're doing after hours. But I should just restart my computer when that happens and see. I don't know. But ever since that update, it was just glitchy as hell, and then we lost. Well, I say we lost YouTube, but YouTube never started. Yeah, it's weird, and it's a weird Friday thing, and this Friday thing is different from previous Friday things. It's like other Fridays there was like too much traffic or something, or there was some kind of other glitch. But yeah, tonight was, I don't know. I don't know if any other streamers had an issue tonight, but it was just weird. Yeah, I know. I'm not thinking about Perry. Poor Perry was sitting down for 5 hours. But yeah, it's a Friday thing. Maybe Fridays need to be Twitch only. I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, it's just sometimes you have to shut down. App caching is a beast. Yeah. When is the PCL book club starting? What are we reading? I don't know. Good question. That'll be up to you guys. Let's come up with something. Something simple that Perry can read. Something 10 pages or less. Hopefully. You know, Perry's got to be in on it, of course. But yeah, it's just So I have like a headache from it, and then also trying to rely, and I couldn't pay it. I'm trying to multitask, and I am a terrible multitasker. But I have to do that on this stream, so that's why, you know, like I really wanted to get him on those skis at some point, and and I know we had pushed off the nitro ketchup thing, but I just didn't trust it tonight. Although he was in good spirits tonight. There was probably a window where we could have done it, but oh, by the way, I should mention too, he ate all of the hot dogs. All the Nathans were eaten this week, and he broke into the ketchup that was supposed to be used for the stunt. I forgot to even mention this. He opened the ketchup the other day because he was having lunch. Now, I don't know if that's going to affect the nitro ketchup act, but it's ridiculous. Like, he actually used it on his own. Like, he had lunch the other day, and he knew that those hot dogs and the ketchup was meant for the thing. Dr. Gunk sent them late on Sunday. We were going to use it for Wednesday, and they pushed it back to today. So he used it. So I don't know if now opened ketchup, that's the other thing, if opened ketchup that's been in his refrigerator, and I actually sent this text message to Joey, he can verify this. He sent me a text message where he said he threw away the ketchup that was in his refrigerator because it expired in 2018. So he replaced it with this new ketchup that he got, the one that Dr. Gunk sent last week. So he used it on his hot dogs. He used it. So I don't know how much is left. I don't know if the refrigerated ketchup plays a part in it. Or do we got to get a new thing of ketchup? Because I really, with everything that was going on tonight, I was not going to put up with another nitro ketchup dud. Because I just had too many things going on this end. So, we'll get to it. Obviously, there's going to be other streams. Not on Sunday, but there'll be other streams. Well, we will get to it probably next Friday. I will also get him to use that snow at some point. We will also get him on the skis at some point. But you guys, yeah, I was battling with a lot of things today. So that's just that's another thing. By the way, somebody asked me if I ever use Slim Fast. No, well, clearly not. But no, I've not used Slim Fast. I'll tell you a good story though. My dad, this is back in like the early to mid 90s, when it was like the Tommy Lasorda pitch thing was at its height and it was like a big deal. And for those who don't know, Slim Fast is like this shake. Like they came like vanilla and chocolate, and you'd mix. I don't know. I don't know. I guess you mixed it with water or something, and you drank it as like a meal replacement. And my dad started using it. And my dad's never had a weight problem, ever. He's always been like in amazing shape. But he started using it. I guess he felt he put on some weight. He had retired from the fire department and took on a fire safety consulting job. He was the fire safety director of the World Trade Center, actually. The actual World Trade Center. And anyway, so he's on Slim Fast for a while, and then I'm catching him as he's going to work. I guess normally I wouldn't catch him in the morning because he would leave later than me, but for whatever reason this day he was synced up, and I was getting ready to catch my bus or whatever, getting ready for school, and he's making his Slim Fast, and he's like, he's like shaking his head. He's like, I am not losing any weight with this Slim Fast. I don't understand it. And as he's saying that, he is putting 3 scoops of Breyer's vanilla bean ice cream into this giant glass and mashing it up with the Slim Fast. And I started like, what are you doing? And he said, I'm making my shake. And I was like, you don't put ice cream in the shake. Like, it's not like a shake. He's like, it's a shake. I said, yeah, no, it's just the powder. And like, I don't know, whatever else you put in it, like milk or water or something. I was like, you don't actually put ice cream in it. And he gave me this look of bewilderment, like the Perry look, like that you all, when I mentioned something that blows Perry's mind, and he was just like, he drank it anyway. To his credit, he like drank it down. I was like, Dad, no, 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 no. Tommy Lasorda didn't lose all that weight by putting scoops of ice cream in in the Slim Fast. So I thought that. So whenever I think of Slim Fast, I think of two things. I think of Tommy Lasorda, and I think of my dad putting 3 scoops of ice cream into a giant pint glass of Slim Fasty goodness. I bet it was good though. I bet it was pretty good. So yeah, that's my Slim Fast story. That's what I think about. And I still bring it up to him. And he still defends it too. He's like, how should I know? It says shake. Yeah, like Nate says, it says shake, Jagoff. That's what you do with shake. You add ice cream. You stupid motherfucker. Get the fuck. You're so stupid. Get the fuck out of here. So that's it's like when he's like insistent that microwaves aren't for that or shredders aren't for that. By the way, that new Hooters calendar needs to be shredded at some point, so we'll figure that out. I didn't realize it was already on the wall. Did I watch Dallas when it was revealed who shot JR? No, that episode came out in 1980. I was like, I think it was, I might have been 6 when that came out. So no, I don't know who shot JR. I know it's a thing. I know it was a big season cliffhanger. I know whatever the answer is, it was disappointing when it came out, but I know it was a big deal. But no, I never watched Dallas. I did like the theme song, though. I did like the opener, but never saw an episode. Tim Sabian years ago was doing one of those diets, and they sent prepared food and was complaining how he's not losing any weight. And then it came out he was eating 2 of each meal because they weren't enough for him. Yeah, right. I think that was it Nutrisystem or something like that, right, where they give you the portion meals pre-made. And right, he was doubling up on them. Yeah, I do remember that. No, you did not fast. Did you really watch that? I don't think you did. Did you really watch Who Shot JR as it aired? Didn't Maggie shoot Mr. Burns? That's my answer for that. I haven't seen Simpsons in a long time. I kind of just fuck me, kind of, as I'm going into After Hours material. I haven't seen The Simpsons, even class. I can't even watch classic Simpsons any at all because Simpsons is so milquetoast now. I won't even say bad. It's just boring. What was my dinner tonight? I got sushi from this place that's way too expensive, and every time I order from them, I forget how expensive they are, and then I go to pick it up, and they tell me, because I don't do delivery normally, but it's not that far. It's like literally less than 5 minutes away, and it's like my jaw always drops when they tell me how much it was. So I had sushi and sashimi for dinner. Speaking of my dad, I told Perry an anecdote about fire exists now, and now I make it a habit to look for them when I in the fire exits. That's good. That's a good tip. Yeah, my dad always told me to told me and my sisters at a young age, and it's good to know this when you go to a public place, whether it's a theater or an arena, a concert venue, a sporting event, whatever, a restaurant even. Always scope out for the fire exits. You never know what's going to go down. So look at it's a good fire safety tip. Know where your fire exits are. Like whenever I went to a GA show, like a concert, GA general admission where you're standing around, I always stood to the left or to the right, never the center, because if there was something that happened, I want to be able to get to the fire exit. I never stood in the middle. So, especially in a packed, crowded place. So, that's my tip for the night. If you go to a packed, like venue, whether it's a nightclub or whatever you guys go to, stick to the right or the left. Don't bother with the middle. Unless you're seated, that's different. In a seated venue, it's a little more less chaotic. But stay to the right or left if you could, to get to the fire exit quicker. If things go down, now we've all heard stories that things happen. Make sure you jam a metal pin in the only fire exit to make sure no one breaks in. That is great advice, Belushi, and we'll all take heed on that. Yeah. Yeah, especially in broad daylight when it's literally too hot to remove. That's also another thing. Huh. Danger Kenny says, "I think your dad did the same thing with the shake." Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess you can't blame people for making that mistake. Joey says, Perry's fire advice is if the microwave bread is on fire, make sure you carry it deeper into the apartment complex to ensure neighbors die. Right. I'm oiling the timber walls on my mother's house. You can't do another sneaky 2 hours of after hours, pretty please. No, I don't. I'm not gonna. I've lasted longer than I thought I would, but then But as I speak, I'm more relaxed because I don't have the chaos of resetting this thing every 2 seconds. But I can't do not 2 hours. Then Perry admitted he had eggs and Italian sausage every morning. That means he's downing the bulletproof with all that code. Yeah, and that's the thing. If you don't know what bulletproof coffee, he always talks about bulletproof coffee. If you really look into what bulletproof coffee is, and a lot of like bodybuilders use it and stuff, and like people get into it. It's kind of a fad, but it's kind of this concoction. It's like you French press coffee, like high end coffee that's like without toxins or whatever. You believe they're gobbledygook, and then you put on this high octane oil, whatever that is. I forget. And you don't have to get the bulletproof brand. You can get other things. And then you put like an enormous amount of butter, like good butter, like Kerrygold butter or whatever, unsalted. And then you blend it all together. It comes out to be this like frothy thing, and you're supposed to drink it. And I'll tell you the truth, when a couple of years ago, when I was I was in a real like fitness kick, which I'm gonna get back to, that I'm not on yet. But I had a personal trainer, and I was like training really hard, and I lost a ton of weight. And I was doing it I was doing it in the weekdays. I was doing it Monday through Friday in the morning. And it's actually not bad. The actual coffee itself is not bad. But you're supposed to have one cup, one decently portioned cup. And it is very filling, and it does give you a shit ton of energy too. Because you remember the stream from like a week or two ago, where he said he drank a pot of it and he was like shot out of a cannon. It's insane. But I did that in the morning, early in the morning. And then I'd wait a couple hours. Then I'd go to the gym. I'd have my training session. I trained for like an hour. And then I would kind of detox. I'd go in the sauna a little bit. And then I'd have a protein shake. Because you're not supposed to eat after you have... After... I forget how many hours. You can't eat like 3 hours. You're not supposed to eat with food. You're not supposed to eat food at all with the bulletproof. It defeats the purpose, because the bulletproof is very especially if you eat toast and like add carbohydrates into it, it's ridiculous. So the fact that he does that every day, he says that, and he says bulletproof. I don't know if he's doing it the right way, because making real bulletproof coffee takes an enormous amount of patience, because there's a process to it. I don't see him doing that. So, yeah. Anyway, I might get back to that. I might start doing it again, because it's it worked for me. Now I obviously did other things. I didn't eat any. I didn't have any sugars. I didn't have any carbohydrates, and I had a cardio weightlifting routine. But yeah, it takes discipline to do that. And I will get back to you. But anyway, I'll get back to that. But it's like Perry. If Perry's actually eating like 6 eggs and sausage and toast and shit, that's ridiculous with the bulletproof coffee, and that's completely not what it's designed for. But there's no talking to him. You know that. You know that as well as I do. And I see people talking about keto. I've never been able to do ketosis. Like as disciplined as I can possibly get, I don't know if I could do that. Oh, Korath had sushi too. That's cool. The sushi place I go to is really good, by the way, but it's like they charge an arm and a leg for the stuff. Yeah, that's Danger Game makes a good point. To be fair, Simpsons is 33 years old. You do have to give respect to that, even if it hasn't been good in 20 years. But then again, I haven't. I don't. People say it's not good anymore, but I haven't watched it. They might be. There might be like. There has to be one episode a season that's good, right? You would have to think. Quit smoking, gained 30 pounds, lost it with keto. Yeah, I've never been a smoker, so I don't even have that excuse. I just lost all discipline. I just lost all discipline, and I hate falling into a Perry excuse. But when lockdown hit, which I know was a long time ago now, almost 2 years ago, and it was kind of like end of the world ish. I just fell into really bad habits of like my work changed completely, and my schedule changed, and I was all of a sudden faced with a lot of things that I was never faced with before, and I just kind of just the gym closed, everything closed, so I just kind of started getting whatever I could get delivered. And I had no groceries because didn't want to go out anywhere. So anyway, I don't have to tell you guys. I think everybody has the same story, but it's time to get back to business. It's not fun. It's not good. It's not good being. Look, and by the way, if anybody out there is overweight, whatever, that's fine, but it doesn't work for me. Like extra weight does not look good on me. But I've been bad. I'm better than I was, let's say on like TomB week, for example. Like that, I remember seeing myself on camera. I was like, "Yike, Aroonies, that is bad." So I've been better since then. Like I've been going to the gym and everything, but just I haven't been hitting it as hard as I was, just because there's a lot of things on my plate. So, but excuse is over. I will get back to it. But I do like the idea of incorporating bulletproof coffee again. Wait for the new year, Tom. Yeah, might as well, right? It's only a month away. Pooey drinks a lot of bulletproof and eats multiple Italian sausages for breakfast and wonders why he belches and farts. He's really an anomaly on that. TomB, you're like me, skinny fat. Yeah, skinny fat, because I have a very thin frame, so I don't distribute. Like from the waist down, I'm like an Adonis, but from the waist up, it's another story. At least lately. But yeah, so you got, and here's the other thing too. I went deep into my 30s without really having any issues, like minor issues. Like I would always be able to eat and drink whatever the hell I wanted, and I had an incredible metabolism, incredible. And then that went away, and I didn't necessarily adjust my lifestyle to it. So that was another thing too. You've been big boned since the fourth grade. Well, more power to you if you're quote unquote big boned. I don't have that excuse. I can't use that one. Is there going to be a PCL Kwanzaa stream? No, I think I don't think we're doing any streams during the Kwanzaa period. I don't think so. But you'll have to remind me what Kwanzaa, what the dates of Kwanzaa is. Yeah, we'll get Perry in blackface and do a really appropriate Kwanzaa dedication. That'll go over really well. He'll just do Dexter Coleman for Kwanzaa. He'll do his Mr. T and he'll do his bad Mr. T impression for 6 hours. That we'll see how long we last on the air for that. We'll really test those censorship limits. Hey, fool, welcome to the PCL Kwanzaa special. Yeah, that'll be partner right away. By the way, I think I'm over the partnership thing, if I haven't said it explicitly. I'm not... They still never got back to me. Twitch never got back to me. Still, to this day. After we had that thing where they suspended us for no reason, and then lifted it with this like robot response, and then we lost our partnership application, so... Twitch can suck a dick as far as I'm concerned. Like that's just really so all the benefit, again, there's tons of benefits from partnership, but I don't have the tunnel vision for it that I did. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. Of course a bot suspended it. Twitch is... I got news for you. Twitch is run by bots. There was one guy, and Joey can attest to this too. A couple of times now, if you're a moderator, you can look at the chat and see who's in the chat. And it doesn't show just the users or the subscribers or whoever. It shows the staff. So me, Joey, obviously. And... then it shows like Twitch employees. I forget, like Twitch staff. And there was a Twitch staffer watching the stream a while ago. And it was the end of the stream. And then they were watching After Hours for like 2 or 3 hours. This account. And it said Twitch employee. And I actually whispered them and was like, hey, and it was right after all that went down. I said, hey, can you help me? This is, we got this whole issue that happened, and we were falsely suspended, and we lost our partnership application, blah, 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 blah. And the guy didn't write back to me right away. Then he wrote me back the next day. He's like, hey, sorry, I'm just a coder. I discovered the stream and enjoy it, and was just hanging out. I don't really have anything to do with that kind of stuff. So he's like a coder. And now he's been back a bunch of times. So... that was interesting, but I got excited. I was like, oh, maybe we're being monitored. Maybe somebody's reviewing us to see how cool we are or something. How much engagement we have, and they've seen the error of their ways and they're monitoring us live. But yeah, that wasn't the case. So yeah, it's just we had one human being, like very early last year, that was like helpful setting things up, and then that person disappeared. Like they no longer work for Twitch anymore, and I'm not talking about Sam. But and there's a thing like there's so many enforcements that want a lot of people, and I've looked into this, and a lot of people, who stream on Twitch have said that sometimes it's not worth it. So because it puts extra eyes on you, and maybe it's a good thing we don't have extra eyes on us. But the thing I really wanted more than anything was the basic control for you guys to scale down the stream, like to scale down the resolution. So if you don't have the bandwidth, you can like YouTube does. They don't even give that to you. I mean, they give it to you once in a while if they have the bandwidth, but they don't. It's not a guarantee unless you're a partner. And then of course you get more. Financial gains off like ads and subscriptions, but I don't know if it's. I just don't know if it's worth all the hoops you have to jump through to do that. So, just really annoying. Yeah, Hannah calls it too. She says, and the nerdy weirdos that work there are giving favors to cam girls that give them favors in return. That's totally true. There was a guy who literally worked in the partnership program. He was high up, this Indian guy. I forget. It was over a couple months ago, and I think he got fired because it was revealed how he would like shake down these cam girls for like favors that he would give them, like partnership or like unban them if they got banned or something like that. But obviously didn't care about a stream like this where there's no hot cam girls. No offense to Perry. But ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I haven't been really concentrating on that lately. What was too hot for PCL tonight, TomB? Poops talk to me. What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean by that. Even Twitch partners don't get humans to talk to unless they have an average of 5K plus viewers. Can you imagine that? Can you really think about that for a second? And I know we live in this world where you can't talk to people. I mean, look, you can find a way to talk to somebody at Amazon, right? If you have like a package dispute or you have a problem, you can call Amazon. You can call PayPal. They don't make it easy, but you can call them and talk to them. But Twitch is owned by Amazon, right? It is this huge thing, where there's tons of people. Like there's other people, they have millions of viewers, or hundreds of thousands in other cases, or multiple thousands. You would think that they would hire employees to take care of these people and not run it all by bots, especially now that Amazon owns Twitch. You would think they would put the biggest company in the world would put some resources into customer service for Twitch. Customer service for you guys too, as the end user. This is a major platform, and there's no customer service fee. It's all automated, and that's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's insulting, really. You can't get a real person, even if you outsource. I'd be more than happy to talk to somebody in Bangladesh or wherever. New Delhi, whatever, outsource the shit out of that. But at least give me somebody that can give me answers and, reverse a judgment that's incorrect rather than dealing with an automated bot that's determining if something on your stream is bad or not. Buddy Nug says, a guy that's partnered with half the viewers. Yeah, it's not about the viewers. Yeah, there's people with like really low viewers who have partnership. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Joey Baz, my old lady is actually going to be a delivery driver for Amazon now, making decent money. Yeah, absolutely. And Amazon pays their employees really well, from what I hear. So I just don't get it. I don't understand that level of like customer service. I worked at an unpopular video game company. We tried outsource customer service for a year and instantly switched back. Yeah, it's not always the end, but I'm sorry, but Amazon can afford it. Amazon, and by the way, there's certain companies like, okay, T-Mobile, right? Like I switched to T-Mobile from Verizon a number of years ago. You call Verizon for customer service, you're gonna get India. You call T-Mobile for customer service, you're gonna get America. You're gonna get Americans. Now, I'm not being xenophobic or anything like that, but there's a big difference in talking to somebody from your own country, and all these outsourced people, they're kind of like the scammers. They all try to pretend that they're in like Idaho somewhere or Ohio or they're America. They're not. They're in some foreign country, and it's like 3 a.m. when you're calling these people. It's nonsense. And T-Mobile actually, anytime I've had a call with and I've had to call them a lot because of Perry, to be quite honest with you. Whether it's changing his phone number because he gave it to the wrong person or some kind of billing issue or something, I always get a real person on the phone. And by a real person, I mean customer service, like almost right away. And if it's not right away, you leave their number and they call you back, and it's great. And that's a huge company. Why can't Twitch do that? Why can't Twitch do that? And Twitch would get less calls than a company like T-Mobile would. I would imagine. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe there's a reason for it, but that I'm not seeing. But if T-Mobile can do it, a cell phone provider, that's not even anywhere near think about the customer service calls that a cell phone provider would get on a daily basis compared to what a streaming platform would get. It's night and day. And one is owned by the biggest company in the world, and one is not. Because Bezos needs a new spaceship, maybe that's the reason. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. YouTube and Google is the same story, Nate. It is, but YouTube is different. YouTube has slightly different problems. You can get a real person at YouTube easier than you can get a real person at Twitch. Not easy, by the way. It's not YouTube. YouTube's a little more transparent with their stuff. I will say that. I've said this many times. YouTube has problems that Twitch doesn't, and vice versa. That's why if another platform comes out that kind of solved that issue of both, it would be great. But it's strange to me that these big companies that rely on users, even like content creators, whatever, to make the money. And I guarantee you, PCL makes Twitch some money because they get a lot of advertising money from it. They get a huge cut of the subscribers. You would think it would benefit them to answer an email. If we write an email saying, "Hey, can you explain this?" or "We have some confusion on this issue," you would think it would behoove them to like at least give a response that isn't written by a robot. So anyway, I'm going to get off my Twitch rant. Sorry. Because I know it's probably boring. Nate says he worked in a Verizon call center. They were 24/7. That said, F Verizon. Is that still true, though? Because I remember towards the end of my tenure with Verizon, I definitely had some outsourced customer service. But maybe that was just 1 or 2 occasions. That's the problem too. Somebody says YouTube and Twitch don't have any competition. That's the issue too. If there was a third-party competitor to Twitch and YouTube that kind of did a hybrid of both, I don't know, you'd have to be a billionaire to invest in that. But let's say it came about, and one of their hallmarks was like transparency and customer service. You bet your butt Twitch and YouTube would immediately jump in on that, and all of a sudden they would offer the same kind of service too. They would find the resources all of a sudden. What's my favorite brand and model of space heater? I don't know. I'm getting really close to ordering one. I won't, though. That's one thing my dad was always against, is space heaters. Sandy Gallagher. By the way, TomB, ended up watching Dune in the theaters based on the recommendations. So what did you think? It's actually coming back because it's funny, they bumped Dune on the IMAX screen near me. I guess probably everywhere for Eternals, and Eternals was a big flop. So now they're putting Dune back on the IMAX screen next week, and I was seriously considering seeing it again. I don't know if I actually will, but yeah, there's not too many movies I want to say. I'm kind of with Perry on the Ghostbusters thing. I have no interest in seeing that new Ghostbusters. I don't have any interest in seeing like House of Gucci. I don't have any. Really, there's just nothing. There's nothing out that. They're putting the original Matrix back in theaters. I might see that the first one. I don't care about I don't care about the new one. It was great, but you hate watching films in theaters because people don't shut the hell up. Yeah, that's a problem. That's why I usually go like a week or two after they open, and hopefully it's like during the week or something like that, and hopefully there's not a lot of people in there. But yeah, people don't know how to behave. It's true. The Ghostbusters shit was pissing Korth off. Yeah, it got a little annoying. I have a pretty good feeling on who did that, and the person who did that is pretty like obsessive with Ghostbusters, so I kind of get it. But yeah, I don't share that same obsession. I know you're a movie guy. Are there any TV shows, current TV shows? No TV shows that I like. I really, no. I mean, the last current TV show I watched regularly was Better Call Saul, and I haven't even seen like the season that went on like a year and a half ago. So I'm way behind on that. I watch Curb Your Enthusiasm when that comes out, but I'm not too keen on this season. So yeah, no. Any TV show I watch is ancient. Like I watch like old episodes of Columbo and shit. Like I really, yeah, no. I mean, I'll watch Cobra Kai when that comes out, but I haven't seen even I think the third season of Cobra Kai. I didn't see that, so I'd have to watch that. I got to get in the right frame of mind for it. Licorice Pizza looks. I don't know about that. Paul Thomas Anderson can be really derivative, and the trailer didn't do it for me. I think the trailer got by on playing Life on Mars, Bowie, and I wonder if it's of its own merit. I'll see it probably eventually if I hear good things about it, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm dying to see it, to be honest with you. Yeah, somebody Omega says Peaky Blinders. I've been recommended that before. I might check that out. But I just haven't been in the headspace for a new TV show for a long time. Do I watch Scottish comedy like Still Game or Borson? No, but I don't have the same opinion of Scotland as I do for England. Like I'm not a fan of English, British production or TV normally. There's always Smiling Friends to look forward to. That's true, and I don't know when the hell that's coming out, but that'll be good. I'll watch South Park, but they haven't done a season in a while. I haven't seen the new South Park, like the new post-COVID show that they put out on HBO Max. I'll see that eventually. Oh, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia started again. I might watch that, even though their later seasons have been kind of disappointing. Yeah, Buddy Nugs mentions the Beatles documentary. I definitely want to see that, but again, I got to be in the right headspace for it, and I'm not. Peaky Blinders is good, but watch with captions on because they speak English, and they mumble a lot. I'm actually really good at that because I have a lot of English friends, and I'm really good at deciphering the garbly-gook that they sometimes get into on like some of those shows and stuff. So I think I'd be pretty good at watching that. Get yourself a space heater with a timer that goes off. Yeah, that's an idea. Look, the idea, like I'm gonna finish this room. I actually. Not to get too personal, but I actually borrowed some money to get to to have it finished by the I'm getting a different contractor actually, and yeah, so I'm gonna have the room done. I'm not. It's not gonna be done, but at least the top. It's not gonna be done the way I wanted it to be done, but I am gonna wire some like stuff in there, like speaker wire and shit before it gets sealed up. But yeah, I have to do it before January because January it gets brutal. And if it's cold now, it's going to be way colder a month from now. So my goal is to get this finished by the end of the month. So I am doing that. I'm having a guy come take a look at it on Tuesday. So hopefully I won't need the space heater or the layers of clothing. Have I tried Peep Show? No, I've not heard of it. Borrowed from Perry? No, I didn't. Jesus Christ, can you imagine? No, I borrowed from my dad. As embarrassing as that is. And I'll pay him back, of course. No. Borrowing from Perry is borrowing from his cousin, really. And I don't want to get into that. No, I didn't go to a loan shark. Yeah, the Tiki Bar guy's available. Yeah. You know what? I'm so desperate at this point, I would actually take him up on it. Yeah, it's just it is. It's just a matter of like get you sheetrock and all this stuff. It's just shit. Shit's expensive, and I'm kind of a moron with a lot of things. Like I'm a moron at adulting sometimes, and by that I mean like house stuff. Because when I originally saw this room, I was like, oh, this will be good for a media room. I'll put the TV in here. I'll do this and that. And yeah, I'll just take out this top portion. That'll be no problem. And then the demo came. And then like other things started adding up. And then I started doing the math on it. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way you can do this. There's no way you can. And I wonder if other people get into this trap when you own a home. I guess I just felt like such an idiot because I didn't think it through. And I normally am very methodical on everything. And so I was very disappointed in myself for this. The timing was bad. Everything. All the decisions I made about it were bad. So, don't take my advice on that on any kind of like home construction or home improvement because I'm the wrong guy to talk to. TomB, will you ever get Perry and his cousin go on a team building retreat? Can you imagine? At least he would cook. Mark's a good cook, so at least it'll be that. Sandy says, I love South Park, but if it wasn't for that show, I wouldn't be here today. Saw the ads for Windy City Heat during the South Park breaks on Comedy Central. Yeah, I know a lot of people say that. I love South Park. South Park has never dipped for me. Look, every show that has been around for, 20 plus years, good God, is going to have its peaks and valleys. But I think South Park has had more peaks and valleys, for sure. And like even people that say, yeah. Oh, Joey can do drywall with smooth finishing. Yes. Okay, here's a question I have, Joey. Maybe you know this. So, like with sheetrock, like I don't want to turn this into like a whole home improvement thing, but like one of the first things I had to do, which set me back in this house, was I had to upgrade the electric panel. When the guys came in to upgrade the electric panel, they had to cut like all this shit, like huge things, to get to the panel. Like they had to cut into the sheetrock and like make this big hole and everything. And the electric panel is actually in my bedroom. And now I still have this big hole it looks terrible, like next to the electric panel. And now there's cold air blowing in as well, because it's not insulated properly. So is that an easy thing to fix when you have like cut sheetrock in like this little chunk? Can you fill that in properly? Because I didn't know anything about that too. I was going to ask the contractor guy. Can I do the Tim Allen home improvement noise? I always hated that noise. No, I can't. I never liked home improvement. Sounds like I didn't buy a lemon. I liked the house. It's just the stuff that needed to be done, I wasn't prepared for. That's the bottom line. Other than that, I'm very other than seeing my own breath right now, I'm very happy. The home improvement sounds like an old Donkey Kong sound from the Nintendo 64 era. Yeah, I agree with that. Pretty easy to patch holes, Joey says, depending on the size, of course. It's not that big. It's like basically on the sides and bottom of like an electrical panel. And there's like still sawdust in there and shit. I gotta like and I vacuum most of it out, but there's some I can't actually get to with what I have. I don't have a shop vac. Patch it decent sized holes and never notice it. Okay, that's what I was wondering. That's good to know. That's good to know. 1 hour of after hours that wasn't supposed to happen. I know, right? I was actually going through because when I'm uploading a ton of streams to YouTube, and I was going for there's this one in May. I don't know, like towards the end of May, right before I was gonna get ready to go to Perry's for TomB week, and and I was looking at the time of the stream, like, wow, this is a long stream. It was like 10 hours, and of course I looked. It was like, okay, it's only 6 hours of Perry, and then 4 hours of after hours nonsense. And I was looking to where to cut the stream for YouTube, for the PCL, and I hear me come on the microphone like, "All right, good night, guys. That was a good one. Thanks for coming out. Sorry, can't do after hours tonight." And I was listening to it. I was like, "Oh, you fucking asshole! Like, there's another 4 hours after this." I think what happens is I say that because I'm so fried, and I was really fried from the stream tonight. Like really, I cannot tell you how hard it was tonight. I'm not feeling sorry for myself at all. I'm just trying to convey to you that it was a difficult one. So in the moment when I'm shutting down with Perry, I have that feeling, and then as I start hanging out with you guys, I think it's a little more relaxing, and I'm like, okay, and you get lulled into it. Especially if you get on the right topic, it can go whatever. So that's it. I'm not lying. I'm not lying or it just sounds so stupid. There are times though I just go hard out. Like, okay, no, there's no after. Bye, out. We're out. But that's the way it goes. YouTube had to fill plastered holes. Not that do. Okay, yeah, I might do that. I gotta figure out. There's a lot of little things like that around the house that need to be done that have been neglected. And again, it's just home ownership because I've just never had a house before. It's like so many other things too. It's I had to buy appliances when I first moved in. I didn't, like a refrigerator, a washer, dryer. All that shit adds up. Obviously, I don't need to tell you guys, but I feel like an idiot for not taking into account how much things actually cost. And then, then you think you're gonna have this like leftover money to do this dream project that you set up. Because when I originally looked at the house, I was like, oh, this room's gonna be awesome, and I immediately had tunnel vision for that, because I'm guilty of having tunnel vision for certain things. Like when I was a little kid, I'd see a toy commercial, I have tunnel vision for that. I have tunnel vision for a video game. I had tunnel vision for every obscure video game system known to man. And by obscure, I mean like your TurboGrafx 16 or your Neo Geos, the ones that weren't Nintendo or Genesis or PlayStation. And then it eventually went away because I didn't get any of them. But I'd have tunnel vision for it. And I saw this room and I just saw myself listening to music, being able to play my speakers. I have these speakers that I don't even, like, they're just sitting collecting dust, where they have dust covers, because I can't even, I don't even have any equipment for them. You know what I mean? So like I had all these things in my head, but they were more like fantasy driven. They weren't based in reality. It was like Perry saying he's going to be in the snow on Monday and Tuesday. We all know that's not going to happen. But in his fantasy version of reality, he's going to be, quote unquote, in the snow. Obviously, he's not going to be. And I say that with 100% confidence. But anyway, it's just home ownership shit, But I think I'm a little more... there's some areas where I'm very together and very with it and very, diligent. And there's other areas where I think I'm very immature. I think I'm very immature with just my outlook on things. Like, oh, this will be fine. I'll get this together. Or I'll have enough money by then. But then other things happen. I had to have surgery. I had a, shit. Like things come up, that unexpected things. It's like planning. It's like going out to see friends, and you're supposed to be there at 7 p.m. and you plan to be there exactly on time. It takes you 20 minutes to get there with no traffic, hitting every light, no problem, and you give yourself 20 minutes. You don't factor in, what if there's traffic? What if, what if I get lost? What if I can't find parking? You got to give yourself an extra 20 minutes to get there on time. And I'm guilty of not doing that. I'm guilty of not factoring in, what if you don't have a smooth ride? What if you have a bumpy ride? And that's my analogy for for why I'm wearing a t-shirt, a sweater, a hoodie, and a jacket right now. 3DO. I don't think I was. I don't remember being that attracted to the 3DO, to be honest with you. I remember seeing. There was another system. It wasn't the TurboGrafx. It was prior to the TurboGrafx. There was a system. I don't even know if it was a video game system, because I think it was VHS based, and I remember seeing the commercials for it, and it was like they had some kind of flight simulator thing, and it looked amazing, and I was like, I have to have this. And I had the Sears catalog and the Consumer Reports catalog, and I'd cut it out, and I'd be like, oh, I'm getting that for Christmas. Of course, I never got it. And then you move on to the next thing. Yes, I'm wearing pants too. Pants, socks, and shoes. Boots, actually. Yeah. But, and actually today wasn't that bad. It was fairly warm for this time of year. Did I see the trailer for Santa Inc.? No, I didn't. The After Hours premium subscribers know how to keep time. Yeah, that's right. Thank God for that premium. Thank God for all the premium subscriptions for After Hours that I can live off of. Yeah. So, by the way, with all that talk of TV shows, I didn't see anybody suggesting anything. So, I am of the opinion that TV has kind of regressed in recent years. Like, it's almost back to where it was pre-Sopranos, where it's not that big of a deal anymore, but people are pretending it's kind of a big deal. And maybe I'm off on that because I'm just kind of checked out. But I feel like there was a television boom in the early to mid 2000s, maybe even early 2010s, and then it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's shows that think they're of the ilk of a Breaking Bad or a Sopranos or whatever the templates are for great television, but they're not. It just, and I just feel like also things like Marvel, like what Marvel's doing, like the MCU, I think they're watering down their product by doing all these TV shows. Like I just saw, like, they're doing a Hawkeye Christmas show. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? Is that a parody? Are you kidding me? Like what, where are we now? Because I remember TV was looked down upon by actors and stuff, and at least when I was a kid, you would never see a big actor do a TV show. Now, over the course of the past 20 years, like, big actors have done TV. Now I think it's kind of like, ooh, no, TV's kind of cringe now again. So now it's back to sucking, but there are some people that are delusional enough to think that it's still good, and they get into all these new shows on, like, Amazon, whatever. I'll tell you what I saw a trailer for that didn't look terrible. It's the Amazon show, the Amazon version of Jack Reacher that's coming out, I think, in February. That looks pretty good, at least just from the trailer, because at least they got. Look, I love Tom Cruise, but he is not Jack Reacher. If you ever read the books, Jack Reacher is like this big, tall, blonde guy that can kick ass, and Tom Cruise is not that. But the trailer looked okay, so I'm kind of curious about the Amazon show of Jack Reacher. And there's been a couple of Amazon shows that I like. I like Bosch. I forgot about Bosch. I like Bosch. I watch Bosch on Amazon, based on the book series. And I liked Man in the High Castle on Amazon. Those are the shows that I've seen on Amazon that I enjoyed. They're not perfect. I wouldn't say they're top level, but they're good. But that's it. But yeah, the Marvel just dumping out all these shows on Disney Plus. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the quote unquote MCU, is dead. And I know there's a lot of interest in the Spider-Man movie, and I'll see that because it looks interesting, but I am not as engaged as I once was. Colette says the streaming boom ruined TV shows. That, you know what? That's pretty on the money. That's pretty on the money. That you're right on that, I think. Danko says, I watch TV like you do. I'm way into old programs. There's so much to watch. I'll check it. Yeah, I agree. There's so many old shows I've never seen, and there's so much value from these older series. I'll tell you, there's so many series that are not even on any streaming platform, and they're very hard to find. And I kind of look for those, or I'll like download them and watch those. Like, one of my all-time favorite shows is The Fugitive, the original Fugitive with David Jansen. And it's what the movie was based off, the Harrison Ford movie. It is so good, the show, but it's not on anything. You'd have to get like the DVDs or whatever, or some kind of rips of the DVDs and download them. Watching that's far more worthy of my time than anything else. Like I like, and there's other like really obscure '60s television shows that I'd like to watch. Like I'd get into Fantasy Island, with Ricardo Montalban and Hervé Villachez before I would get into a new show. Like that's where I'm at, because I just like being in that era. I like being in that kind of safe TV where I don't have to invest my life in it either. I don't have to like, oh my God, I have to see the next episode right now. Like, no, I've seen this episode and it wrapped up nicely. I can go to bed, and maybe I wait a week, maybe I wait 2 weeks, maybe I wait a month before I see the next episode, but I'll enjoy it. And that's it. So, yeah. The Expanse is excellent, says Elbow. I've heard that. I've heard that The Expanse is very good. I've not seen it, but I've heard that. Danko says Marvel and TV and movies sucks. I'm a big Marvel comics guy too. Like, have you seen, like, did you see that, like, any of the, what's that one, Shang-Chi or Eternals? Or, like, I just have no interest in either one. I'm just completely... Monkey says, Tom Cruise is Jack can't reach her. That's true. I want to watch the Spider-Man movie because of Sam Raimi. Does Sam Raimi direct the new Spider-Man movie? No, right? That can't be true. But then again, it could be true because I'm completely removed from any of that kind of news. Some people watch reruns. Some people game. That's true. I do game. I do play the Switch more than I do anything. Actually, if I watch anything, I watch a ton of YouTube, and I do play the Switch a lot, and that's kind of my zone out stuff. So I don't really watch anything else. Danko's off Marvel movies. I pay attention to them because I sell comic books for a living. Okay, yeah, I'm off the Marvel train too. As I've said before, the Marvel Cinematic Universe for me ended with Endgame. And I thought that was a really nice wrap-up and a really nice ending. But that's it. Sam Raimi's directing Marvel. What is he supposed to be directing? I mean, I like Sam Raimi, but not enough to see some random Marvel movie. Oh, got an onslaught of texts. Oh, listen to this. This is actually, we can end on this note. This is a very. I wish I would have seen this earlier. When did he send this? Oh, he sent this. God, he sent this a while ago. I had my phone on silent after I think after 11. So Perry sends me a text, and he says, "One of my neighbors was driving out of the parking lot as I was dumping trash, and he rolled down the window saying how much he loved my streams, and he's a big fan. And he discovered my streams because people in the building were talking about it. He was very nice and loves PCL, but he is moving back home to Tennessee. Told me that he loved me and he was a huge fan and gave me $20. Good night." That's pretty cool. That is very cool, actually, because I always sometimes wonder, like, what his random neighbors think about him. That's great. I wish I would have overheard that interaction. Oh, wow. I wonder now who this person is, like who did this. Like, can you imagine like being a fan of the stream and actually living in Perry's building? Like, that's pretty crazy. And he actually gave him a 20. Oh, that's fine. That's fantastic. He guaranteed he doesn't live on the first floor. There's no way he lives on that first floor. And it's definitely not the guy across the hall, because I don't think he's a fan at all. But yeah, I do know for a fact that a lot of his neighbors are very aware of what he does. And even people, there's like one guy that passes by the ring cam all the time and he gives a thumbs up because he never knows if it's on or not. Like, he knows that there's a stream, which is really cool. Which is really cool. It's like, because honestly, if I lived in that apartment, I knew there was a camera on and I had to walk my dog or anything, I wouldn't be too cool about that. But they all seem to be really cool. They seem to be really cool people. Yeah, are they lurking right now? Yeah, if you're actually if you're actually in Perry's building, speak up. But that's a nice thing, and it's good. It's good that I know, like, he ended with signing off, but or not signing off. He ended with shutting down his computer, but it's nice that he gets moments like that in real life that affirm that what he's doing is good and means something to somebody. I mean, it would be kind of surreal to be into a stream and then be just like leaving and then seeing the guy that you watch because he lives in your building and he's just dumping trash. You know what I mean? Like, that's really cool. Mitch says, "I wonder how many fans are located at tons." There's a lot of. I'd say. I would say out of anybody, not anybody. I'd say out of anywhere geographically, I think Southern California as a whole is probably the biggest hotspot of PCL people, like demographics wise. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, there's a billboard that's live right now, and I'm going to try to have Perry go by it tomorrow. That Wes Most actually commissioned. I'll tell you exactly where it is. Hang on a second. I gotta find his message about it. It's in God damn it. Hold on. It's right on the on-ramp too. It's about 20 miles from Reseda. I'm trying to find the map here where the coverage is. I'll tell you exactly where it is. Carson, California, and it's basically it's a billboard ad, like a digital billboard ad to for PerryCaravelloLive.com, but it's a picture of Perry by his pool and it says "Summer Never Ends." So, and it's running, like you can see it. Like if you drive by, you'll be able to see this giant thing. So I want to have him see it. I ordered a dash cam for him, and he still hasn't gotten it yet, and I really don't feel like doing Perry's tech time to set it up, but it might be worth it just to get him. Just to get him to do that. when I send my next order to Jim Cornette, I may put a copy of When You See the Heat in there. He loves that kind of comedy. That'd be cool to get Jim Cornette to be aware of Perry. I love when the ring cam is on and the door closes and he starts screaming. You can hear how loud it is in the hallway. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you ever listen to like for me, like I sometimes have to listen to like the ring cam isolated, and you could hear there's so many, if it wasn't like such a Herculean task, there's so many people that like pass by his door when he's really going off, and they'll just like put their ear up to the door to hear what the hell's going on in there. Like what? Like what the hell's going on? Randy says, TomB, I've talked to one of his neighbors one time when I was delivering some firewood one night, and he had no idea about Perry's stream, and I told him to look it up. I've seen him pass by on a ring camera. Yeah, I definitely think most people on his floor by now know about the stream, especially because like look at how unfazed they are. Like he can be dressed as a pirate in his hallway, doing one-arm push-ups or dancing a jig or something like that, and they just walk by like do no, it's just another day. Oh, you found it, Buckshot Kid. Seriously, whisper me about that illegal streaming site that has all 4 seasons of The Fugitive. By the way, watch The Fugitive, the original show from the 60s, and get back to me and tell me that I didn't change your life. Tell me that it's not one of the best things you ever saw. Nobody's going to say to me that that's a bad show. It's the best thing you'll ever watch. I mean, I won't say it's the best thing you'll ever watch. It's going to be one of your favorite. It's going to be one of your all-time favorite shows. And I'll say this about The Fugitive. Obviously, if you know the movie, The Fugitive is about a guy, a doctor named Richard Kimball, who's accused of killing his wife. Now he's innocent. Who killed this? He saw this mysterious one-armed man. Okay, and the whole show. It's one of the very first. It's not the first, but it's one of the very first what they call man on the run shows. And a man on the run show is, the template of it is, there's a guy, quote unquote, on the run, now whether from the law or whatever, and he goes from town to town, place to place, and then he's got to move along because the heat's on him and he's got to keep going. But he changes people's lives as he goes. The Incredible Hulk followed that template, the Bill Bixby show. That was a man on the run show. There's been many others, but this is the best one. The absolute best one. And it's the first series to ever have a definitive final episode in history. And for a long time, up until, I think maybe even until the MASH finale, it was the highest rated show, the highest rated single episode in history was the final episode of The Fugitive, where the show is resolved. Because that never happened in the 60s, or even in the 70s. It just didn't happen. But it happened. And it's actually, because it wouldn't be as good if it didn't have a finale. But definitely check it out. Kung Fu, that's another Man on the Run show. Yeah, Man on the Run show. They don't really do them anymore. I can't remember the last Man on the Run show that was actually like Man on the Run. Oh, thank you. Buckshot Kid sent me a link to the Fugitive in HD. There's no way that's HD. Is it really HD? Because the DVD, the only thing that came out on home video was DVDs, and it was definitely not HD. Yeah, this looks good, but it's not HD. Thank you, though. I'm gonna. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's a great point. B-Pod says, Quantum Leap wasn't Man on the Run, but it kind of was. Yeah, it definitely had Man on the Run tropes. Even though he wasn't on the run, but he did leap in from place to place, and how to move along. Mandalorian, that yeah, it's not quite Man on the Run, but I could see why you'd say that. Have I ever seen the movie I Was a Fugitive from a Chain Gang? No, but I know the movie. Would The Hitchhiker qualify? No, I think The Hitchhiker was more of an anthology series, because The Hitchhiker wasn't really he wasn't like the main protagonist in the show, right? Because he just kind of narrated it, from what I remember. So no, I'm trying to think of other. Let me actually. My brain's a little fried. Let me Google it. I'll see if I can think of more examples. There's a lot of failed Man on the Run. I don't know if there's any Woman on the Run shows. They actually did a remake. They tried to reboot The Fugitive in the year, I think in 2000, with Tim Daly, and it was okay. I remember watching it, but it didn't do very well, and it ended. It was one of those shows that ended on a cliffhanger. Man on the Run TV shows. A lot of westerns were Man on the Run. Oh, there's actually a show called Man on the Run. I think that's where it came from. Yeah. There's a western called Man on the Run from the 50s. Yeah, Incredible Hulk I mentioned. Yeah, definitely Man on the Run. A-Team is Men on the Run. That is very true. Yeah. Branded, I think, was after Fugitive. Yeah, Branded was after Fugitive. But also, yeah, Branded is Man on the Run. Some did it better than others. There was a show called Hunted. I don't know this one. It's hard to narrow down now because the actual show is called, yeah. Kung Fu, that we've mentioned that. Fugitive, obviously. Nowhere Man, I didn't see that. I don't know anything about Nowhere Man. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to get caught in the Man on the Run weeds. Oh, what's a good? I'll tell you what's a good Man on the Run show. It's so weird. It's one of these shows. I remember seeing it as a kid, and then I watched it. It's one of the other thing is it's hard to find on streaming or anything like that. But there was a TV series based on the movie Starman, directed by John Carpenter, and the TV series came out. Maybe like 4 years after the movie, but it's based on the movie. It's the same, like Jeff Bridges is in the movie. The guy who stars in the movie is Robert Hayes from Airplane, and it's a Man on the Run because there's like he's an alien, obviously, who takes human form, and he's on the run from the thing, and it's actually very good. I think it only lasted. Maybe it was maybe it was 1 or 2 seasons. But I remember really liking it as a kid. It was on ABC on Friday nights. I think it was ABC Friday. I think it was Friday nights at 9, if I remember the time slot. I think it was like 88, like that, or right around that. But anyway, I guess we'll end in the Man on the Run weeds. I love how I said I was not going to do a full After Hours. But I'm just getting colder and colder as the night goes on. But hey, thanks everybody. Sorry, I would say sorry for the glitches tonight, but I guess it actually turned out to be a pretty good stream. I couldn't really see that through what was going on, and I wanted to make sure every single tip comic got played. But Perry was a perfect version of himself tonight. He really was. He was really in fine form, to the point where he was very, I won't say engaged, because there was points where he definitely wasn't engaged, but he was very aware of everything going on. And I think he told one of the best versions of the spaghetti joke he ever told, at least on PCL. He was with it. He reacted to every comment pretty much accurately. Like there's a couple that confused him, but the ones that confused him confused me too. And I thought he was great. I thought he was a perfect version of himself tonight. Good energy for most of it, faded a little bit at the end, but as usual on Friday nights. But really, really good. So whatever magic in the bottle routine he did today, I'll try to have to replicate. So I don't know if anybody else got that hit, but I definitely did. I thought he was phenomenal. Minus the usual annoyances that had happened. See, I did it for you, Slug. Slug said to carry him through 2 hours, and I did it for you. Thanks for sticking around, Tom. You carried me through 2 hours of wood oiling, which sucks ass. I bet it does. But yeah, so again, remember, we're not on Sunday, but there'll be a YouTube premiere or whatever. But enjoy your weekend. Have a good Saturday, Sunday. And the baseball jersey was so good. The Perry Carroll, I immediately thought we got to get that in the merch store. It looks great on him. It's perfect, and I love that it made him happy. Like I was afraid when I first saw it, like he would like want to throw it away because of the '92, but he actually really loved it. So that's it. Wheezy says, hide the contents of your studio, go to Home Depot, find a guy in a parking lot who can install installation, spend $500 and your room will stay warm. Yeah, no drywall paint. That's true. Yeah, but I got to seal it up anyway because I got to do the full Monty on it, unfortunately. But yeah, I did think about that actually. Yeah, I thought it was really good too. I thought it was a good. It was hard for me to pay attention to it at all times because I was doing so many things, but I thought it was really good too. It was great. So I'm gonna go get warm in the other room. I'm gonna start a fire. By the way, I had no idea about that wood thing. What is it called? The ever burn, whatever the hell it's called. Because I never had a fireplace. I have one now. I haven't used it. But where you burn, I guess you burn it while the log is still wrapped in the fire. Whatever that thing is called. What is it called? The fuck's it called now? The log thing that you burn. So yeah, I like it when Perry has to school me on something. It happens every now and again. Durafoam, yeah, thank you. Duraflame. Yeah. So I like when Perry, like, you don't know that, you idiot. Like I always love that. We didn't get a chance to talk about Kevin Smith. We've talked enough about Kevin Smith. We don't need to talk about him. Yeah, whatever. Dura, whatever. I didn't know that you can toss it in there in its packaging. And also, the reason why I had him cut into it is he was talking about a fish smell, which I guess maybe somebody sprayed fish in there. I thought maybe the fish was wrapped in the log packaging. That's why I had him open it. I know I wasn't really that interested in seeing the log. I thought there was a fish in it. That's why I had him open it. So, yeah, drumettes. That was another thing he schooled me on. Yeah, never heard of that. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to go on a Kevin Smith tangent, but I can't stand. I was an early adapter on hating Kevin Smith. I've hated him for a long time. I do not like Kevin Smith, and I can rant on about him, but I've done that quite enough on past After Hours. So we all agree on that, right? We all agree that Kevin Smith sucks. So anyway, I'll circle back to saying goodnight again, and I'll talk to you in one way or the other. But if I don't hear from you, I'll talk to you on Wednesday for Media Share Wednesday, and then next Friday we'll do the Nitro catch up probably next Friday, and then next Sunday is 12. So that should be interesting. Hopefully Perry makes it out unscathed. Oh yeah, great. Clerks is very overrated, and it doesn't hold up either. Doesn't hold up. None of his movies hold up. They're all terrible. Anyway, Kevin Smith sucks. That's what we've learned tonight on After. If they take away anything from After Hours tonight, Kevin Smith is not a very good filmmaker. So we'll talk to you guys later, and I'm gonna get some sleep. Hope you guys do too, and love you guys.